Hi guys! So today's video is going to be all about concealing, and whatever I know about concealing I'm going to try to tell you. Mainly I like to split concealers into three categories: corrective concealer, under eye concealer, and blemish concealers. So I'm going to start with corrective concealers, and I find that there's a few kinds of concealers you can use for that. First of all, there's all those color corrective concealers, like a yellow counteracts a blue tone under your eyes, and then there's like a peach pink that counteracts the purple and sometimes also the green, and also vice versa. So if you have a kind of a acne skin with a lot of redness and spots, you can use a green corrective concealer to counteract that redness. I don't have any green concealers or purple to show you today because I just haven't found any that I think are good. I do have some yellow and peach corrective concealers. This is the Bourjois Healthy Mix. I think the color is apricot, and this I think is really good to use under the eyes, but you can actually also use it on the rest of your face as well. So it's kind of a multi-purpose product. My favorite corrective concealer, as you all know if you've been watching my videos, are the one from Inglot, the Freedom System thing. This is the corrective one. This has sort of a darker, more peach color to it, and it's called Peach. And this just covers so well. You can put it on rather lightly at first, but you can definitely build it up to a medium. Probably not a full coverage, but that's fine with me. I don't want like a full coverage. If I want a really light coverage for my concealer, I use this So Susan Concealer Quad. This is like completely destroyed, but it has a white and a really dark concealer that I don't really use. I have this correcting concealer and this other light concealer that I use under my eyes after my foundation. And by the way, corrective concealers are, to me, I usually use it under foundation, or I always use it under foundation, just because since they have another color tone to them than your actual skin tone, it's going to show through, or it's going to show if you have it on top of your foundation, while if you have it underneath, the foundation is going to cover the color itself while it is correcting whatever you're trying to correct, if that made any sense. So yeah, this is a very light coverage, but it's really nice when you use a BB cream. I don't like to use heavy coverage concealers together with a really light foundation, like a tinted moisturizer or a BB cream. Another thing that I think I learned from Makeup Geek, I think she was the one who told me, or told her viewers, that you could actually use a darker concealer or a foundation to use as a corrective concealer for those really dark under eyes, or like bluish toned under eyes. And at first that sounded really weird, but I tried it and it really worked. So I have the Estee Lauder Double Wear Same Place Flawless Wear Concealer with an SPF of 10. Mine is in warm light medium. And I've got the e.l.f. Moisturizing Foundation Stick, which I originally bought for contouring, but it just didn't work for that. So it's too dark for me, but I really like to use it for under my eyes. And those concealers gives so much more coverage as well, since one is a foundation and then you have the Estee Lauder Double Wear, which is known for its coverage. So yeah. So as you can see, I have no makeup on today, so I'm going to try to show you what I do when I put on my concealers. So starting with that corrective concealer, I've never tried this before, but just as a comparison, I think I want to try 2 different kinds on different eyes. And to apply the corrective concealer, I use this EcoTools, I think it's just called a concealer brush. But a lot of the times I just use my fingers as well. I'm going to start out with this eye using my favorite corrective concealer. And the thing about corrective concealer is you're not supposed to put it all over, just where you feel like you need it. I hope it's not too dark for you guys to see. So on this eye, I mainly have it just on the inner part of my eye. And I just blend it out with my finger. And I only put a tiny bit on. Like, I feel like that's enough. Maybe I should zoom you in. On the other eye, I'm going to use the Estee Lauder one. And this is like my problem eye. So all of this I need to cover. And then this outer part right here, where I have a lot of blueness. Can you say blueness? I don't know. So a big part of my eye. And this is almost invisible, as you can see. But since this is too dark of a color for me, it's going to show before you put on your foundation, which is fine. I am going to use a foundation. So continuing with my foundation, I'm using the Inglot AMC foundation, cream foundation in LW200. I'm applying it with the Real Techniques Expert Face Brush. So moving on, I'm going to finish my under eye concealer, and this is when I want a concealer. I want to use a concealer that is 1 to 2 shades lighter than my actual skin tone to kind of brighten that area. And normally there's a lot of ways to apply your under eye concealer, but I mainly have 3 different ways. Either I dot it right where the bone, where you can feel that bone. I don't even know what they call it, but that's where I dot the concealer and blend it out. That's kind of just to give it the whole area a lift. And if I just want a super light concealer, like a super light coverage, I just put it right in the area, maybe where I have my little bags right there, to hide those bags, and just put the concealer right there and then blend it out. Or I would put it all over, like beginning in the inner corners of my eyes and then like full coverage all the way down. Sometimes I just use it a little bit in the inner corners. Sometimes I use it as that little, in this Kim Kardashian contour kind of shape. That's normally when I am in this contouring mood anyways, but you definitely don't need that much concealer, but it's sometimes fun to experiment a little bit. If I want a light coverage, I go for that lighter shade that I showed you in the Oh Susan quad, or I go for the Kix Concealer Flawless Cover in Porcelain. This is a really good one if you want a light coverage, and it's very natural, and yeah, I like that one. But most of the time I use my favorite one, which is this one from Inglot. If you don't really have much to cover, you could go for a highlighting concealer. Either something like the YSL Touche Eclat, or you can get the more affordable alternative from Maybelline, the Instant H Refined, I think it's called. That's a good one. You have lots of those clicky pens from Maybelline. Pretty much L'Oreal, every brand has some sort of clicky pen that has some sort of a highlighting effect and doesn't give too much coverage. You also have the ones that give a lot of coverage, like this one. This is not a clicky pen, but it's in just like a jar from Inglot, the AMC Cream Concealer. This gives more coverage, but it has really a highlighting effect because I've chosen to go 2 tones lighter than my actual skin tone. So if I really want to highlight that area, I use something like this. Those light coverage clicky pens can be used as like a subtle highlighter for the rest of your face, to apply it around your cheekbones, in the middle of your forehead, your brow bones, your chin, your cupid's bow, down your nose, like an average highlighter. I think I'm just going to go for what I love the most, which is the Inglot one, and I'm going to use the Sigma Precision Flat Angled P88 brush. I also often, like on an everyday basis, I just use my fingers because it's just so easy and it works the same, but I'm just going to show you how these brushes work. Zooming in again. Today I'm just using that. I got a little bit too much. This is so pigmented that it's very easy to put too much on the brush. So I'm just going to do a little bit around my nose as well. And I always go over with my finger to make sure that it's well blended. Today I'm just kind of starting in the inner corner and working myself out. This is such a problem eye, so I'm basically covering the whole under eye. So that's the deal today. This is just enough coverage for what I like. Next up is blemish concealers, and there's a few different ones. You have those in the pan. Some of them you can use as a multi-purpose product, like I told you about. Here I've just used up the ones that are suitable for my skin tone, but these are really nice. e.l.f. Complete Coverage Concealer. This is light quad, and then I have these kinds of penny stick concealers. This has some kind of ingredients in it that it's the e.l.f. Sit Sapping Concealer in Fair. That's supposed to heal the blemish a lot quicker. I don't know if it works. This is the one that I'm using and trying out. Right now I can't say it's my favorite one, but it's fine. I've got a Isadora Treat and Cover Concealer Stick in Ivory. This is too light for me, but the thing is, you're just supposed to dot the spot and then blend it out so you only cover what you need to cover. And the thing about blemish concealers is that they need to be a little bit sticky in order to stick to the spot. This is gross, but it's true. And this NYX Incredible Waterproof Concealer in Porcelain, I think, is my favorite one. It just stays on all day and it just works. I don't have a lot of blemishes right now, but I have a little spot right here. So I just dot it on and I blend. And this needs to be the same tone as your actual skin tone. If it was lighter like the under eye concealer, it would just highlight the spot and make it look just more visible, which is not what we want. If I were to use this from like a jar or something, I like to use a rather thin, detailed, pointed brush. The final product that I want to talk to you about is mineral concealers. This is the Lily Lolo Mineral Cover Up in Barely Beige, and this is an amazing concealer. I love it. You can definitely use it on its own, but the thing about mineral concealers is, I'm going to demonstrate. You only put a tiny bit, about this much, but just the tiniest amount at a time. And I like to use the Real Techniques Domed Shadow Brush for this, and I swirl the brush around in the lid for a little while. Make sure that the product melts into the brush. I tap off the excess, and I like to use this kind of as a finishing powder, but if I were to use it alone on its own, I would have had to build it up, and you spend a lot of time doing that. So I like to use it as a setting powder with a little bit of coverage, and not an everyday concealer on its own. So yeah, but if you feel like you have the time, these are probably the best concealers, coverage wise maybe, but absolutely ingredients wise. And Lily Lolo is cruelty free as well. The e.l.f. Isadora and Inglot concealers are also cruelty free. I can mention some iconic concealers that I know are really good, that aren't necessarily, they're not cruelty free, but I know a lot of people love them, and I have liked them in the past as well, so I'm going to mention them. The NYX HD Concealer Magic Wand, the Rimmel Match Perfection Illuminating Concealer, the Collection 2000 Lasting Perfection Concealer, the Soap & Glory Kick-Ass Concealer, it's amazing. The Clarins Instant Light Perfector, the Inglot Freedom System Cream Concealers, the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer, which is so raved about. I have not tried it, but I am mentioning it anyways. The L'Oreal Lumi Magique Concealer, the L'Oreal True Match Touche Magique Concealer, which is, it's not the same thing. The Maybelline Instant Age Refined Under Eye Brightener and Dark Circle Eraser, and the Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer and MAC Pro Longwear Concealer. All of those concealers are great concealers, and I'll just mention some brands that I know have some good concealers that are cruelty-free as well. Together with the ones that I said, the Inglot, Isadora, and Lily Lolo, we also have, sorry, I cannot pronounce that brand. We have Anastasia, let's see, Cover FX, Gosh, Jane Iredale, Makeup Store. That trio that they have is really good. Makeup Geek does not have concealers just yet, but I know that she's been talking about releasing some concealers fairly soon, so I'm very excited about that. And then Nilens Jord, number 7, Oriflame, Pacifica, Pixie, Physicians Formula, Pumpkin and Poppy, The Balm, Too Faced. Yeah, I think that's it. 100% pure. I haven't tried that one, but yeah, so there's so many brands that are cruelty-free that you can choose from and see if you can find a concealer. I know once I use up these, I have already bought backups of these, but I just really want to try the Pacifica one and the Anastasia one, because I've heard so many good things about them, but I haven't tried them yet. So that's going to be my next purchase when it comes to concealers. I hope that you have learned something from this video, and feel free to ask me questions in the comments below. Tell me if you like this video or not. Tell me if you want these kinds of video in the future. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye!